The sun sets slowly over the crowded streets of Manila, casting long orange shadows across the narrow alleys. Amid the honking jeepneys and vendors shouting their last calls for ballot and fish balls, a small clearing opens near a sari-sari store. This is where 12-year-old Ely practices every single afternoon, his little stage, made of cracked pavement and chalk lines drawn by neighborhood kids. Ely sets down his old Bluetooth speaker, the one he fixed by watching YouTube tutorials at the local internet cafe. It crackles for a moment before the familiar beat of Michael Jackson's Beat It fills the air. Instantly, the chatter around him fades. Children from the block gather, forming a loose circle. Some sit on crates, others stand on tiptoe. Everyone knows what's coming. Ely pulls down the brim of his worn-out black fedora and takes a slow breath. He remembers how it all started. A dusty DVD of Michael Jackson's concerts he found in a thrift shop 2 years ago. Since then, he's practiced every night, repeating moves until his feet ached. He studies MJ not just as a dancer, but as an emotion, a story, a power. He starts with a clean glide across the pavement, surprising tourists passing by. Vendors pause mid-sale. Even older neighbors smile, whispering, "Ang galing ng bata, he's talented." A few meters away, Ely's mother works at her tiny food stall. She watches him with tired but glowing eyes. Life has been difficult, rent always late, days when they barely eat, but watching her son dance reminds her that hope still lives in small places. As the song ends, Ely stands breathless, sweat dripping, heart pounding. He looks at the sky. One day, the world will see him. One day, he will dance on a real stage. The backstage area of America's Got Talent is louder and brighter than anything Ely has ever seen. Giant lights click on and off, crew members rush by holding cables, and the air buzzes with excitement and nerves. Ely clutches his black fedora tightly against his chest, his small fingers trembling just enough for his mother to notice. To his left, a group of acrobats stretch with perfect ease, their bodies bending in ways Ely has only seen on TV. To his right, a powerful singer warms up, her voice echoing against the metal walls. Every sound makes Ely's heartbeat quicken. What if I mess up? What if they laugh? What if I'm not good enough? The thoughts swirl in his mind like a storm. A friendly AGT producer kneels beside him. "Hey, little man," she says gently. "You nervous?" Ely nods silently, unable to speak. "Well," she smiles, "that just means you care. Use it. Turn it into energy on stage." Ely tries to breathe deeply the way he practiced on the long flight from Manila. His mother places her hand on his shoulder. Her face is tired, years of working, sacrificing, shaping her into someone both strong and fragile. "Anak," she whispers, using their Filipino word for my child, "don't dance to impress them. Dance because it's who you are. Dance the way you practiced on the streets. Dance with your heart." Her words settle the storm inside him. Ely closes his eyes and imagines the cracked pavement of Manila beneath his feet, the children cheering, the warm glow of the streetlight. He opens his eyes. He's ready, not because he's fearless, but because he's brave despite the fear. A stagehand calls out, "You're next." Ely grips his fedora. This is his moment. The next morning, while Ely and his mother sleep in their small budget hotel room, the world is already waking up to his magic. His AGT performance, uploaded just hours after the episode aired, has exploded across social media. Millions of views. Thousands of comments. News outlets begin sharing headlines. 12-year-old Filipino boy brings Michael Jackson back to life. Simon Cowell slams golden buzzer for jaw-dropping MJ dance. By midday, Ely's name trends across Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Filipino celebrities repost his performance. Overseas workers in Dubai, Hong Kong, and Canada share the video proudly, calling him Ang Boses Pilipino, the voice of the Filipino spirit. Back in Manila, kids gather around their phones, replaying the video over and over, trying to copy Ely's moonwalk. Vendors who once watched him practice now beam with pride. "That's the same boy who danced outside our store." Neighbors remember his late-night rehearsals, his passion, his unstoppable energy. Ely and his mother return to the AGT studio for interviews. Surrounded by cameras and lights, Ely still looks shy, small, humble, nothing like the superstar he became on stage. Reporters ask, "Who inspired you?" Ely smiles softly. "Michael Jackson, and my mom." That evening, Ely and his mother walk through the streets of Los Angeles. It is a foreign city, far from Manila, yet Ely feels something familiar. The rhythm of hope, the beat of possibility. He stops in front of a glass window where a TV shows replay after replay of his performance. He watches himself moonwalk in slow motion, golden confetti falling behind him. For the first time, he whispers the dream aloud. "One day, I want to perform all over the world." And with the world now watching, that dream no longer feels impossible. Ely isn't just a boy with talent. He is a rising star. And his story has only just begun. Ely steps onto the massive AGT stage, and for a moment, everything feels unreal. The stage lights glow like tiny stars, the crowd stretches into darkness, and the giant judge's table stands in front of him like a wall of destiny. Simon Cowell leans forward, studying him with curious eyes. Sophia and Heidi smile softly, sensing his nerves. Howie gives a small encouraging nod. A deep, echoing voice announces, "From the Philippines, here is Ely." Ely swallows hard, grips his fedora, and positions himself in the center of the spotlight. The stage feels cold under his shoes, so different from the warm Manila pavement he's used to. But he remembers his mother's words, "Dance with your heart." The music begins. A single, sharp beat from Billie Jean. The crowd murmurs. Ely snaps his head up, pulls down the brim of his hat, and the transformation begins. His first glide is so smooth it looks like he's floating. A wave of surprise rolls through the audience, whispers, gasps, then cheers. Ely doesn't hear them. He's lost in the rhythm. His body hits every beat with precision far beyond his age. His spins are fast and controlled, his footwork crisp, and his energy magnetic. The judges sit stunned. Simon's eyebrows rise slowly, as if he can't believe what he's seeing. Ely slides backward into a flawless moonwalk, traveling across the stage like ice under his feet. The audience erupts. Phones lift. People scream. Some even stand. But Ely isn't done. He ends with Michael Jackson's legendary toe stand, holding perfectly still, balancing on pure determination. The theater explodes in applause, shouting, cheering, clapping in thunderous waves. For a brief, unforgettable moment, a 12-year-old Filipino boy brings the king of pop back to life. The final note of the music fades, but the roar of the audience only grows louder, waves of applause, whistles, cheers, and the thunder of hundreds of people rising to their feet. Ely stands frozen in his finishing pose, chest heaving, sweat shining on his forehead. He can barely believe what's happening. For a moment, the world seems to move in slow motion. Backstage, his mother presses her hands against her mouth, tears streaming as she whispers, "That's my son, that's my Ely." On stage, Ely slowly lifts his head. The stage lights are blinding, but through them he sees something unforgettable. Every single judge is standing. Sophia is clapping wildly, eyes sparkling. Heidi shakes her head in disbelief, her smile wide. Howie gives a dramatic salute. But Simon Cowell stays perfectly still. He leans back in his chair, arms crossed, staring at Ely with an intensity that makes the entire room quiet down. The audience falls into a hush, waiting for his verdict. Finally, Simon stands up. He points at Ely and says, voice powerful and clear, "Ely, that was not good. That was incredible. You didn't just dance, you performed like a superstar. I haven't seen anyone capture Michael Jackson's spirit like that in years." The crowd screams, but Simon isn't done. He steps forward, places both hands on the judge's desk, and looks at the golden buzzer. Ely's breath catches in his throat. Simon grins. "You know what? You deserve this." His hand slams down on the golden buzzer. A burst of golden light shoots into the air. Confetti rains down like shimmering rain. The whole theater erupts in chaos, joyful, explosive applause as Ely drops to his knees, overwhelmed. He looks up at the falling gold, tears slipping from his eyes. His mother runs onto the stage, wrapping him in a trembling embrace. "You did it, Anik, you did it." For the first time in his life, Ely truly feels like he belongs on the world's biggest stage.